Hey guys, today I'm here with Lisa, and she's going to be teaching us all about ways to do SMS. And the title of her presentation actually is Not Your Average SMS Tutorial. Lisa, welcome. How are you?
Hi, Chase. Thank you for the invite, and I'm very well.
Good. Yeah, excited for you to be here. Do you want to kind of quickly share your background and then dive into your presentation?
Yeah, of course. So, hi everyone. I'm Lisa. I'm co-founder at Carloop. Carloop is a conversational text marketing platform that helps e-commerce brands drive growth and build their SMS community by texting with shoppers in real time. We are actually a team of real people that go above and beyond for customers in real time through text messaging. And my background is pretty non-stereotypical because I studied and graduated from med school. I studied for 6 years. And while I was studying medicine, I built and sold 2 e-commerce stores and then went all in with tech and co-founded Carloop.
I love it. That's amazing. Well, the floor is yours. Go ahead and share your screen, and I'm excited to learn from you. You were sharing before a little bit about what you're talking about, and I can't wait for everyone to listen to it and learn from it.
Perfect. And feel free to interrupt me if you have questions.
Amazing. The design looks fantastic. Wow. All right. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Well, actually, Chase, you're the first one to see the new brand of Carloop. We're launching it next week, so it's pretty exciting. This is the first official presentation that I created with the new brand.
Man, it looks fantastic.
Thank you. All right, so I will share the agenda. So what I want your audience to go home today from this presentation is 5 mistakes that can kill your SMS channels, 4 ways to build your SMS community, 3 avenues to retain customers, 2 SMS success stories. I want you to see how some of our merchants have done it and take those action items and implement it for yourself. And then I want to show you how a memorable conversation should look like. And first, a little bit about myself. I already introduced myself, but as Carloop goes, we are a fully remote team across the world and home of over 500 Shopify or Shopify Plus brands. And yeah, I'm happy to share with you some of my tips and tricks today. And yeah, in terms of our brands, we have amazing reviews from our merchants, and you can find us, on the Shopify App Store or Capterra G2. Just read what others have to say about Carloop. All right, so let's start with 5 mistakes. And the first one that I put here is a pretty general one. I think most brands are aware of this, but it's highly important, and I just have to repeat it over and over again because I can still see some of them making this mistake. So sending text without shopper consent. And if you think about it, nobody likes receiving promotional text that they didn't sign up for. So before you send, a campaign or you text your abandoned shoppers and so on, just ensure that you have that permission. It's important for you to follow the compliance guidelines of your SMS tool that you're using, your SMS provider, and also the wireless carriers messaging policies and so on, depending on, of course, where your target audience lives. And you can get their permission using opt-in forms and also at checkout by adding disclaimers, which I will show you in the following slides. The second one would be not replying to text. I'm a huge believer, and everyone at Carloop is a huge believer in 2-way communication because SMS by nature is a 2-way communication channel, and brands should get used to the idea of treating it like their personal channel between them and their shoppers. And which is all the more reason you'll need to shift your mindset and be more sensitive in how you come across in your messaging in text marketing. And it's really important these days when everyone is shopping online to add that conversational and human element, similar to what you would find in a physical store. So our goal is to bring the physical shopping experience online, mostly nowadays where everyone is mostly doing their entire shopping on the internet. So yeah, it's all about try to think about it like elevating your customer experience by adding that human approach that will help you build stronger relationships. So try not to ever have a text where you know, one of your customers or one of your visitors or shoppers who just opted in ask the question and you're not there to reply or provide that support and assistance. The third one would be sending too many texts. More is not better in SMS marketing. So the recommended frequency would be 8 marketing messages per month. I would say maximum of 1 or 2 per week. And your messages should be a mix of conversational, you know, support, assistance, promotion, new releases, educational content, nurturing content, giveaways, and so on. You can either do interactive text and so on. And when you use SMS in a campaign, you can, for example, follow up with an email to give your customers more details about, you know, what you're talking about that you couldn't include in an SMS, because you don't want to overwhelm your subscribers with a like very long SMS that they cannot really digest. So for example, there's a product launch there where there's more information about let's say it's a skincare product, and you really want to emphasize the natural ingredients and everything being organic or so on. So you can follow up with a nice email that covers all those aspects. Then the fourth would be texting during quiet hours, for example, the middle of the night. And what quiet hours do is a functionality that we also have at Carloop, and I believe most SMS tools should have it, is pretty mandatory. So quiet hours prevent your subscribers from receiving automated messages during specific hours. And if an automated message is triggered during those hours, let's say during the middle of the night, it will be delayed until the next day. And the default quiet hour period should be somewhere around 9 p.m. to 10 a.m. So you should never text your customers during that time. And the fifth one is something that I've witnessed with a lot of brands, even today, is sending texts from shared phone numbers. And I'm not saying it's your fault as a merchant, because sometimes you're not even aware of that. And what I did is that I subscribed to a bunch of brands to test this aspect, and I was very surprised to see that most of them were sending text from shared numbers. So what I experienced is that I got texts from multiple brands, but using the same phone number, and that was, as a consumer, was very confusing for me. You know, it can lower your trust. It can, you know, seem like, who am I talking to? Is this a scam, or is this like the real brand that I'm trying to get in touch with? And when I asked the question, I either got no answer or I got a wrong answer because it was the wrong brand that I was trying to connect with. So definitely, when you're choosing your SMS tool, be aware of this aspect. Be aware of, try to make sure that they use dedicated local phone numbers for every single shopper. All right. Next would be, okay, let's see. I have 2 screens here. Okay, so moving into the 4 ways to build your SMS community. The first one is the very known pop-up. But if you enable a 2-step pop-up, you can get let's say the benefit of collecting both email and phone numbers at the same time. So that's like an advantage for you to use the same tool for collecting both of best worlds, so you don't confuse and overwhelm your visitors with more than one pop-up, because one is enough. So, you know, you can either provide a discount. Most of them, what I've heard, I just had a chat with Adam from Magnet Monster, and he was saying, like, we've tested everything, but the you know, incentivizing visitors with the discount works the best. So it is what it is. We all love discounts, but yeah, just try to, you know, create a nice messaging and try to differentiate yourself from the other. Just make them feel part of the family if they are opting in, if they are subscribing, you know, and just try to nurture them and not just spam them with discounts and promotional content. And the next one that we just you know, added at Carloop is, we call it at Carloop Live SMS Concierge, But what actually is the SMS version of a live chat. So you can add, like a nice, as I showcased here, you can add a nice visual on your website or on your packaging, social media accounts, wherever, to say, hey, text us at this number to get, live support, live assistance, and to get your questions answered, actually. So this is a very nice way to connect to your customers, to be there for them, to meet your customers where they are at and where they prefer, and also, to build your subscribers list at the same time. And then, okay, then there's 2 more. So adding keywords to your social media channel. This works similar to the numbers. However, you can incentivize them by saying, hey, text this specific keyword to this number to join our SMS community, or to get 10% off, or to, get the latest updates from us, and so on. It really depends. And you can create separate keywords for every single social media channel that you have, or put it again on your packaging. The options are endless, honestly. And it goes the same with the QR code. So it can be put on your website, packaging, just shoppers will be able to scan that QR code, and their, iMessage, if they own an iPhone, will open, and they can directly just say yes, and they will opt into your list, and just become part of your community. So these are the 4 ways that we've seen work best, and they're not that intrusive if you know how to approach your customers, and how to write the compelling messaging, and how to position yourself. All right, so the next part would be 3 avenues to retain customers. And I would say I'm a big believer in two-way communication. So this is one of the most important avenue that I would emphasize. Then there's live SMS assistance, similar to live chat. Maybe, with live chat, there are a bit of limitations if you think about it, because shoppers, when they contact you via live chat, they need to be, their desktop needs to be open, or their tabs needs to be open. If they will, click on, let's say you provide a link, a product link, if they click on that, they will lose that live chat bubble, and they will have to go back and re-contact you, and so on. So it's a bit annoying for consumers. It happened to myself as well. So having live SMS assistance, they can reply at their own pace. It's there. Their messaging app is there. They can contact you anytime. They can even save your phone number in their contact list, and they have that constant point of communication with you. So it provides a much better and memorable experience, and it also increases their trust level. Just knowing that, oh yeah, I have their numbers. I have my favorite brand's number in my contact list, and whatever I need, or to track my package and so on, I'm able to do it. And then, of course, getting that real-time feedback from all of this conversation, and then applying it to your business and adjusting your business accordingly. And I put here an example from one of our brands, Planted. You can see here that they contacted us asking if the products are safe during pregnancy. And our experts replied saying, they really provided the information that the products do not contain any chemicals that can harm you or the baby. However, we do recommend seeking your doctor for advice, and so on. So this is how the conversation goes. This is an example of how the live SMS concierge or live SMS assistance can go, and how the flow looks like. And in terms of how to actually retain customers through these 3 big avenues. So first of all, I would say listen to your customers. Look at every single conversation that you're having with them. This, of course, applies not only to SMS, but also to email or live chat or social media, wherever comments, whatever you see, just listen to them. Because I believe that the biggest mistake brands do is not treating SMS as an opportunity to understand their audience better, their shoppers better. And you need to find out who your shoppers really are, what they need, what their expectations are, and why they opted in for your emails or text in the first place. Because everyone has that why. You have to find out their why. And most merchants, most operators, they just want to see those cards being recovered as fast as possible. They just want to drive revenue in the shortest amount of time. They love that, short-term gratification. No one goes after delayed gratification, unfortunately. But there's where sustainable growth, lays. And that's why we see all these brands usually pushing out promotion, discount codes with no intention of offering real value and really being acknowledge of what their customer needs are. And I believe that the customer's problem is an opportunity in disguise, and we should always think of it like this. And for the second part, it continues. The first tip to listen to your customer is that we have to acknowledge what our customers are saying. For example, when a shopper mentions a concern or an issue, you should address that concern, not directly, push a sale. You really have to listen to it to understand what he's saying and reply accordingly. So if you think about it, no one will become a customer if their concerns are not addressed. They will just churn, they will leave. And also try not to sound robotic. Try to be empathetic. This is the most important aspect in SMS, just being empathetic. And for example, something that we're experiencing on a daily basis at Carloop is customers sharing their experiences with us. Some customers are so honest, they just tell us about their families, tell us about their day, how's it going, and so on. So it would be very weird for us to just, okay, here's your discount, not just like trying to engage with them a little bit, trying to make them feel good. So I have here one example, and someone said, I love those charm bracelets. What discount can you give me? I am getting them for my family as my mom just passed away. Do you have free shipping? So there's a keyword there, a very important thing that usually when you get these types of messaging, you should acknowledge the fact that this person's mom just passed away. So the critical thing here is that we do not have to say something excessively long or like try to go overboard, but just a short and sincere acknowledgement needs to be given, in that reply. Something like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. I hope you're better, and I will do my best to provide the best support to you today. And here's our best product. Here's a discount that you were looking for, and just something small that shows that you're human. And also here the tone is extremely important. And we need to understand or get an idea what the general tone or feel of the conversation is. And the response that you give to customers who are ordering a pillow is different from the one that you're giving to customers who are ordering a device for, let's say, self-defense. So there should always be that acknowledgement present. And at Carloop, our experts manager have 4 ways that they assess this acknowledgement in the conversations. And this is part of their training. So it's the tone, like being sensitive to how you respond based on their responses, comments, and the product. There's the second one is realistic interaction. So this is related to genuine reactions you give when customers share their experience or they mention something that is unrelated to the order or the actual brand. So the realistic interaction. Then the third one is focusing on the ball. So this basically means you should always identify the real concern and address it. So you should always identify the why behind that text. And the fourth one is the line of thought. So this is basically presenting your reply in a very organized, professional manner, because at the end of the day, we should stick to being professional within our interactions. All right, so then again, I showed you here the conversation, which is we provided information about the product, personalized recommendation. Another rule that you should use with all your communication channel is just replying as fast as possible. Try to keep it under 5 minutes, and that would be one of your competitive advantages. And again, use your brand voice across all channels. If you like to talk a little bit more quirky, just use that, or funky, or you're professional, or just be consistent across our channels. And the last one would be just act human. All right, so moving on to success stories. I have here 2 success stories. One is from Bell Fever, which is an Australian jewelry brand that started as a side project. Sarah from Bell Fever is an amazing founder. I talked to her a bunch of times, and we actually, so her story was very related to ours, because she said that she got to a point where she realized she was relying too heavily on external marketing channels. So it was not sustainable anymore, and the cost increased heavily. So what she decided as a solution, she wanted to adopt various channels, so not just Facebook, Instagram ads. She wanted to go beyond just that and adopt a holistic strategy, and of course build sustainable growth. And one of the channels she found was, conversational SMS marketing, and that gave her the opportunity to connect with the audience faster, grow her list, and being able to just have that gap narrow actually between their audience and Bell Fever. And yeah, they have experience. So this is a case study that we've launched a couple of months ago, and this was the SMS performance until that point. So the ROI is great, conversion rate, and they at that point that they gathered over 30K new subscribers. And yeah, she told me, we actually have testimonials from her telling her that the biggest thing that she loved about SMS is the fact that she could implement a conversational human approach, and that it really helped her with that hassle of having to manage an extra team of support reps just to handle the SMS channel. And the other one, which is Planted, is a UK-based hair care brand. They are pretty interesting. They rely on centuries-old secrets from Africa and Asia, apparently, to treat hair issues such as alopecia and scalp problems and so on. They are 100% plant-driven, and they have natural solution. And they really have amazing testimonials from their customers, like saying, people who were literally bald, they had their hair grown. So it's pretty amazing what they've done. And again, her challenge, Amma is the founder. She's pretty active on Twitter. Maybe some of you know her, but her challenge was just improving the customer experience and connecting faster with her audience. Her products go out of stock like insanely, like super fast. Once she launches a product, like in 24 hours, they will run out of stock. So she realized that if she's just relying on email, she loses a lot of customers who don't really check their email that often, for restock notifications. So she wanted to find a channel where she could get faster results. So, if someone opted in, okay, please notify me when this product is back in stock, they can just send a campaign right away, and everyone will be notified. So that was her initial challenge, and this is why she started with conversational SMS. And again, building an SMS subscriber for her restock alerts. And this actually, the performance that we see right here is only from one single campaign. So it was a two-way restock campaign. At Carloop, we enable, even with the blast, we enable shoppers to reply and get support in real time. So yeah, she saw great performance and over 53K in revenue just from one restock campaign, which is crazy. It just shows how good their products are. Yeah, this was the second success story. Very proud of them. And last but not least is I want to show you how a memorable conversation should look like. I mean, what the elements of a memorable conversation should be. So first, I would say always text your customers as if you were texting your friends. Like always say, hey, Chase, this is Lisa from Planted. Just try to be human, add their names, add your name, and act as if you were just talking to a friend. Keep it short and sweet, be concise, and this goes with all of your marketing channels. It's something that I also learned in the past months. Just try to be more like of a content curator and not overshare, because people have short attention spans, so we should, not waste more of their time. Again, use spaces between sentences, similar to how I showed you earlier in the campaign. So just make it clean, because it will not overcharge you. So spaces will not overcharge you within your campaigns. Then regarding the CTA, always try to, at the end, tell your customer what the next steps are, because they are not magicians. They will not guess what the next steps are. And if again, every marketer's and merchant's goal is actually to increase and convert customers. So if you really want them to take that action, you should be clear about what action they should take. Even if it's like you're sharing with them like a blog or an article about your new product, or like something that's educational, just provide that link and use short links, of course, ideally branded links. Add your brand there, so it's much more increases familiarity and trust. And then ask open-ended questions. This will stir a conversation. This will help you to gather that feedback. Don't be afraid to ask for feedback. People are always on their phones, so don't be afraid to ask questions. And always, even for example, if you set up your welcome text for the pop-up, once they opt in, you can customize that welcome message. So just adding their reply to chat with me will make a huge difference, because those subscribers will know that, hey, I can actually talk to a real person, and this is not just them to try to get my data and my information. So there's actually someone behind that text. And yeah, before hitting send, just ask yourself, am I adding value by sending this text? And I would say these are the most important aspects within a conversation. I think that's it for me.
Lisa, this was so good. So for those listening, it's cartloop.io. Lisa's email is on the screen if you're watching it, but it's lisa@cartloop.io. And then are you Lisa and then your last name on all social channels?
Yes.
All right, so it's Lisa, and then her last name is Popovici. So those links to find her business and her personally will be in the description. Lisa, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Hope it really was actionable and will help your audience think differently about SMS.
Yeah, I definitely learned a lot. So I know everyone will benefit from this as well. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you, Chase.